Good day. Caste is an everyday conversation in every walk of life in India. Caste, jati, one constitute a thinking or a way of life that is clearly derived from Manusmriti, despite the existence or presence of Constitution of India. The challenge of casteism in India, in my view, has become more formidable following a highly controversial tweet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who, unlike an upper caste Brahmin, late former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee from the same political party, that is BJP, hails from a lower caste, perhaps from the caste of Telis. Not only has he undermined the very ideal of political neutrality in a sport, he also tried to inject militarization in a game which is widely known as a gentleman's game. Little does he know that cricket has always remained associated with words like neutrality, integrity, fairness, sportsman spirit, decorum, etiquettes, and tradition. Prime Minister Modi's tweet has generated a wider debate, even within India, where cricket historian Ramachandra Guha, among others, has accused Prime Minister Modi of diminishing the office of Prime Minister.
Sporting triumph. But today we raise fundamental questions about the wider behavior of the team and indeed of our own Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Was it fitting and proper, or was it questionable and possibly even unethical? My guest is the well-known historian and cricket commentator and author of The Commonwealth of Cricket, Ramchandra Guha. Ram Guha, let's start with the post that Mr. Modi put up on his platform, which compared the Asian Cricket Cup final triumph with Operation Sindoor. He called it Operation Sindoor on the games field. Is that a fitting sentiment to be expressed by the Prime Minister of a democracy after a cricket victory?
It isn't, and before I explain why, let me also add my words of congratulation to the Indian cricket team for their sporting triumph, which was absolutely not a political triumph, let alone a military triumph. So that tweet, I don't know who wrote it on the Prime Minister's behalf, for which I hope he didn't actually approve it. And if he had good sense, he would delete it now. Really cheapened his office, diminished his office, because what if Pakistan had won the match? It was a close match. Would that have been humiliation for India? Would that have lessened the sacrifice and the valor of our soldiers? So it was an extremely poor taste, and again, it also reduced us down to the level of Pakistan. Because if Pakistan had won, that's what General Munir would have said, something like that. And the Indian Prime Minister, the head of a very large, the most populous country, which claims to be a democracy, so stand above it. And of course, sport and politics should not be mixed. I mean, to go back to the debate around the tournament itself and the matches, either you don't play with Pakistan, you boycott them on grounds of principle. You say you stand by your argument they're a sponsor of terror and you don't play against them, just as we didn't play against apartheid rules. But the original error, it's too inconsequential error to call it a sin. But the original mistake was made when we played Pakistan for the first time, and the Indian cricket team, surely not on their own, but under orders from almost certainly the Home Ministry, refused to shake hands. So this escalating war of words and nastiness on both sides, to which both sides contributed. Pakistani cricketers, the Indian cricketers, Mr. Naqvi, Jay Shah or whatever, whoever the BCCI president is. But essentially, and we should be above this. I'll give you one last example from history. When the Indo-Pak War of 1971 took place, which everyone remembers. Unlike the 1974, Davis Cup, everyone remembers. Indian and Pakistani cricketers were playing in a tour in Australia. And actually, I will not take names. They were playing for a World 11 against Australia. And actually, an Indian player and a Pakistani player even shared rooms. Because the sports is beyond politics, it's above politics, it's also much less important than politics. That's the last point I'd just like to dwell on for 2 sentences. It's much less important than politics. Our Prime Minister's post on X equated it with politics. He equated a victory of 11 cricketers over another 11 cricketers with a military battle. So he diminished the Indian identity, the military, our sense of patriotism with this kind of absurdly illogical and possibly immoral equation.
Viewers, it is interesting to note that Kapil Dev, who is widely addressed as Baji, the former captain of India's cricket team, has tried to diffuse tensions between the two countries. He has underscored, albeit indirectly, the need for a dialogue between India and Pakistan.
And you want to have a good neighbors. They can say the same thing, we can say the same thing. The only way forward is you have to have a dialogue, you have to talk to them again and again. In 70 years it didn't improve much, but one can't say run away from the situation, whatever both the countries are. They are our neighbor. We should try our best. Thing is, as a big brother, try to solve the problem. Yes, so many bad things happen, which I don't like to talk about that. And I like to move on in my life and try to say whatever happened yesterday, let's move on for tomorrow, better tomorrow.
Would we have been better off, given that there is so much anger and hurt in...
Viewers, last but not the least, that India's Operation Sindoor was a total failure is a fact. That has been fully explained by none other than India's own security and defense expert, Praveen Sawani.
Is that it was not a coincidence at all that on 17th of September, when this agreement was being signed in Riyadh, in Islamabad, a press conference was held by retired General Khalid Kidwai, who is now the senior advisor to Pakistan's National Command Authority, and he has been a very high-profile chief of Pakistan's Strategic Plans Division, which is responsible for nuclear weapons. And at this press conference, General Kidwai made 2 disclosures. First was, he said that when the air battle happened on the first night of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan Air Force shot down 7 fighter jets of the Indian Air Force, 4 of which he said were Rafales. Now, to substantiate his point, he gave evidence also. At the press conference, he gave the tail numbers of the airframes of the 4 Rafales, which Pakistan said it has shot down of the Indian Air Force. Now, this is the first time that Pakistan has given such evidence to the world about 4 Rafales being shot down. So the point is, the ball really is now in India's court. India can either refute this evidence, or India can give a counter evidence, or India can just keep quiet. Assuming that India will just keep quiet about the whole thing, the world in any case believes what it does, even before this disclosure was made. And that is that the outcome of Operation Sindoor was about Pakistan military demonstrating its credible conventional war capabilities against India, a big thing. Now, the second disclosure of General Kidwai was that after Operation Sindoor, we know that the Pakistan Army has raised the Army Rocket Force Command. And according to the general, this command raises the nuclear threshold by inserting an additional layer of deterrence between Pakistan's conventional war deterrence and nuclear war deterrence. So, what he's saying here is that the existing credible conventional war fighting capabilities of Pakistan will get further strengthened because of this rocket force command which the Pakistan army has created. And I agree with General Kidwai's assessment on this. But the point to note here is that this press conference, as I said, was not a coincidence. It was held to give a clear signaling that this agreement, which was being signed in Riyadh, was actually about conventional war capabilities of Pakistan. General Kidwai did not make any reference to the nuclear weapons of Pakistan. If anything, he said that the raising of the Army Rocket Force Command will raise the nuclear threshold level, not lower it.
There was Abu Sarfaz Ahmed, Yarabu Gazeta, Karachi, and Sarfaz Ahmed Library, Territory Jadida, Karachi. I'm a student of Sovietology, Semitic languages, Middle Eastern studies, and Indology. Thank you very much.